Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. In War of the Visions, here is a list video. If you know me from my Monster Strike days, you know that I love making lists. That's the Japanese in me. But the last couple years, lists have stopped making sense in that game because of how the game evolved. It's now pretty much impossible to say what are the best Hatcher monsters and what are the best drop monsters, since you need such specialized units for the high difficulty quests. And also in War of the Visions, I haven't made many list videos because it's difficult and dangerous. It's difficult for two reasons. One is that all units, espers, and vision cards are good, so it's almost impossible to rank them against each other. And then two, the meta doesn't move in a straight line. It shifts back and forth depending on the event, the map, the boss, the hot new unit, etc. And then making lists is dangerous because when a unit is unfairly hyped by people who don't understand the game, and that hype is blindly swallowed by a bunch of people, you get a situation like the fallout of the Chocolate Flan raid, where a lot of Orlando users had their hearts broken. Very sad. And on the flip side, when you have a tier list where someone has to be at the bottom, people see like Eileen down there and they just write her off without investigating why. Lists and rankings can also be very easily misinterpreted, as shown by all the comments on my previous video asking why Warrior of Light wasn't in the tank category. So that's why I think it's dangerous to make a list or ranking. My greatest fear is that someone looks at one of my lists, misinterprets it, and then shouts to the heavens, just tells everybody they know the wrong message from my list, which is why I don't want to do them. But here I'm talking about top investments, the pieces of the game most worth your time, energy, materials, and possibly money. And I don't think this list can be too misinterpreted, so I feel pretty confident about putting it out there. And then this could have easily been a top 20 list, but I'll just kind of talk about the lesser 10 real quick as honorable mentions. But one of them is the Vow of Love Vision card. Great for tanks, also great for non-tanks to become tanks, and then also the Slash, that matches with all of these Slash characters. And then we also got Excalibur. If you have not leveled up Excalibur, get on that right away. And then there's all of the N rarity equipment. I think you want to buy at least one of each, all of these. Maybe two of the armors, two of the staff here. And then I think everybody wants to level up the Siren Esper. I don't know if they're handing this out anymore, but if you do get it, you want to level it up. It gives you lots of slash resistance, which is perfect. And then in the Chocobo Expedition, you want to expand the slots as many as you can. That's very much worth it. And then in the Guild, I think you want to spend to expand the number of slots in the barracks. I think 10,000 at least you want, because they hand out the beast meats once in a while, and you want to be able to use those without any waste, so yeah. And then for the paying players, you want the orange lapis deals. Those are a good investment. Better than the regular blue ones. And then later there will be select tickets that will appear in the shop. Those can also be good to get the shards of the unit or the vision card that you want. And then finally a couple of units that are honorary mentions. They are Salia and then Dario. Okay, but let's talk about the top 10 investments in the game. And at number 10, we have Mont. He is so good. I am eagerly awaiting the on-off mechanism to come to global. I was hoping it would be this week, but it doesn't look like it. But looking ahead, he'll be a really solid tank for most physical attacks. And then he's still the best tank in a way for Landu because he has the element advantage. Sasayaki is maybe tied for him. You can't really rely on him for top tier damage, but that's hard to expect from any MR physical tank anyway. And then for how easy he is to max out, he is more than worth the investment. And when on-off comes to global, I hope everyone gives him another look. Okay, that was number 10. Number 9 is Gaffgarion. Dark slash units are great. MR units handed out for events are great, and Gaffgarion is both of those things. His unit is really good, of course, and will fit a lot of the meta coming up. But his TMR is also one of the best in the game, because so many units can use it, has a nice attack, has a nice bonus ability. So yeah, Gaffgarion, excellent investment. And then number 8 is a two-parter, and then this won't apply to everybody. This will apply to the paying players. But this one here, the $8 Stamina Refresh Pack, and then the Story Quest Packs. If you were to spend money in the game, these two would give you a lot of bang for your buck, and then neither are too expensive either. Talking about the Stamina Pack, 30 large stamina refreshes is a ton, and depending on how you play, that could last you a week or more. And then the Story Packs, they give you a ton of materials, which means faster progress, more units awakened, more Trust Masters. And I encourage people to throw a couple bucks into the game. It helps everybody, but don't spend more than you can afford, of course. I said this in my guide to spending video, but the difference between a free-to-play and a minnow in this game is pretty big, so you might want to consider throwing a couple dollars at it. And for the record, I have nothing against free-to-play users, but free-to-play users that are loud and proud about being free-to-play make my gorge rise. Just be free-to-play and enjoy the game. You're not a hero, you're not clever, you're not asserting your independence, you're not pulling a fast one on Scummy, you're not sticking it to the man. If you really wanted to stick it to Scummy, you'd uninstall the game. In my mind, the quote-unquote good free-to-play users are either poor, casual, or players looking for an additional challenge. If you can't afford to spend in the game, I totally respect that. I hope you get amazing luck with your free pulls. If you are here just for the story and music and artwork, I'm more jealous of you than anyone else. And if you understand that the free-to-play experience is different from the dolphin or whale experience, and you enjoy the unique fun of being free-to-play, which is using what the game gives you and seeing how far you can get, then you are hardcore and awesome. To continue with the pay-to-play theme, number 7 are the limited units with the guaranteed get step-up banners. And these are really something to consider. Of course, you still have to use Vision Ore to awaken the units, but not needing to deal with the possibility of using 30 or 40 or 60k Vision Ore and not getting the unit you want could be worth the price of admission for you. It's 6,000 paid Vision Ore, so that's like 120 US dollars, which is not cheap, but if you can afford it, and if you can wrap your head around the idea of buying it, it could be a good investment. Supposing it's the only thing you ever pay for, that's $120 every 3-4 months. That's not too bad. You can compare that to your gym membership, or like how much you spend at Starbucks for 3-4 months. Okay, that was number 7. Number 6 is Ayaka, and this pick bores me so much, but the utility of Ayaka is undeniable, and if she is sitting in your box unleveled, it is worth starting to level her, even now. Rosa just came out in JP, and lots of people were like, oh my god, Ayaka is power crept. But as a healer, she does not compare, actually. I would say even Grace is a better healer than Rosa. So Ayaka still tops, even in JP, where it is months in the future. And speaking of Grace, it might be worth leveling multiple healers for the tower. We've been through it once in Globals, so you probably have an idea if you want that or not. But I was very grateful in JP to have multiple healers. Okay, so number 5, let's go back to the shards. And that is Rain. I am so sad that I don't have him in either Global or JP. Everyone should have a magic tank, of course, but that's not the main reason you want Rain. The reason why he is a good investment is because he is one of the best for raids in the game. There are 2 key things to successful raiding. 1 is addressing the boss's weaknesses, and then 2 is making chains. Rain with his limit break can imperil fire resistance, So he is in effect creating a weakness that he can take advantage of, and the fact that he can use his Limit Break turn 1 makes it all the more useful. And anyone that can imperil turn 1 is worth your attention, including Helena. And Rain's Limit Break hits multiple times, which sets up chains nicely, which he can then continue with Soul Prominence, one of the few multi-hit magic attacks in the game. So for all raid bosses that are not specifically strong against magic or fire, Rain can take them all on, and few teams will do more damage more quickly than a team of 4 Rains. However, he needs his Crimson Saber sword from the tower to really be a good damage source. If you don't have it, you can forget about Rain and get a different magic tank. If you do have it, I would seriously consider Rain if he is in your box unleveled. Okay, so that was number 5, Rain. Number 4 are the combination /pierce dark units. So that specifically means Stern and Shadow Links. And this is kind of like part 2 of the Gaffgarion pick, but Stern and Shadow Links have the addition of Pierce attacks, which have been a really popular attack type to have in JP the last couple months. There are lots of light element bosses, but dark units have an easy time going to all elements because they have no weaknesses. I have used Stern in JP more than most units in the game, maybe even the most, and Shadow Links is one of my most used units in Global, but even in JP, where I have too many URs, I still use Shadow Links a lot. I'll talk about regular Stern more in the Super Stern review video, but he stays relevant. It's crazy how much mileage he gets. Okay, number 4 were combo /pierce dark units. Number 3 will be combo /pierce light units, and that specifically means Thancred and Rob. And maybe now you know why Rob is on my main screen. These guys are not better or more useful than the previous dark units that I just mentioned, but I thought it would be more dramatic to do it in this order, so here it is. The number of times in JP I have looked at my level 79 Rob and thought, damn it, I wish I'd gotten this old man to 89, is more times than I can count on one hand, so I'm so fed up with that happening over and over, I'm announcing that I'm going to start building him in Global. That's how good I think he is. And just to commit to that idea, let's go here, and let's buy his shards for the 2000 Vision Ore. I wish I had had this epiphany last week, when he was appearing in the shop all week, but better late than never. But anyway, it's for similar reasons as Stern. Lots of Dark Element bosses, lots of chances to use Slash and Pierce, and the ability to fight any element. Thancred, he also has Light, Slash, and Pierce, so he's similarly versatile. This will be good for the upcoming King Behemoth raid. It will be good for both the lower and the higher level difficulty of Golbez in the Final Fantasy IV collaboration. And then it will be good for the Two-Headed Dragon raid. So yeah, lots of use cases in the future for Rob and Thancred. Also, Rob can cause slow with his Oborozuki attack. Where is that? There it is. And this is good for some raids where the boss is maybe immune to steal time, but weak to slow. This is a nice attack to have. Okay, so that was number 3. Number 2 is Mediena. Here's another pick as obvious as the Noonday Sun, but her utility is too undeniable, and I recently started working on her in my global account. She is a good damage source, a great farmer, a good unit for PvP, but it's her versatility in raids that puts her over the top for me. Just like with Rain and his Limit Break that imperils an element, Mediena can also use hers, turn 1, create a weakness in the boss, and then go to town. In the Princess Pudding raid in JP now, Rosa is the best pick, but many people are using Mediena, and she's making it work too. Also, with so many users in Global having done the reset marathon for her, it'll be easy to find chaining partners. So if you have Mediena sitting in your box unleveled, I would get on that. Okay, and the number 1 is Jesus, Illusory Bells. I always hate it when something is overwhelmingly the clear best in a game like this, because everyone wants it, everyone gets it, everyone uses it. And so it even affects like the direction of the game, as it influences the developers' decisions on like future event design or game balance or whatever. But Jesus Trustmaster, the Illusory bells are so good and so necessary for everyone without exception that I must put them in the #1 spot. Everyone should get these, period. And even though you might consider the Illusory bells a mistake of balance on the developer's part, it could have been much worse, and has been much worse in other games. Imagine a weapon, or a unit, or a skill that is overwhelmingly better than all others. That would be a disaster for a game balance. But the beauty of Illusory bells is that it makes all accounts better, and it makes most units better, and yet it doesn't break the balance of the game. I would say that 2 PvP teams equal in all things, except one has the bells and one doesn't. It would still be a toss-up, but still, everyone should get this. Okay, so those are my picks for the best investments in the game, whether they be for time, energy, materials, or money. I'm pretty confident about these picks, but we'll see where the game is in 6 months or a year. Maybe they will make bosses immune to element imperils, so that would kind of hinder Reign and Mediena. Maybe they will stop offering guaranteed get step-up banners, I don't know. Mont and Gaffgarion are excellent values now, but we'll see how future handout MRs look. Alright, but that was my list of top 10 investments in the game. Hopefully that was interesting. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Take care.